Good morning. It is 7:30 a.m. right now. I woke up about an hour and a half ago. Actually 2 hours ago now. And it was already bright out, and I'm just the type of person who can't get back to sleep if it's already bright. So I've just been up, and I thought, why not finally film the video that I've been meaning to film? So here I am. Today I'm going to be talking about global work and travel company. And I guess just if they're worth it or not. So before we begin, just a disclaimer, I don't work with or for global work and travel. I'm not, on their payroll. I'm not sponsored by them. This is literally just like an informative video, just so I can help someone else who might be researching and thinking, is this company worth it? Is this company a scam? They have really bad reviews. And I actually only saw the bad reviews after I booked with them. So I'm just here to give you my 2 cents and you can decide on your own. So I did sign up with them ages ago, like 2 years ago, when COVID first started. I was just like, oh my God, I fucking hate this place. I hate being in Sydney. It's so boring, this, that. I was like stuck inside as well. And one day I was scrolling through Facebook and I see this ad to work on like the ski fields in Canada, and I actually had wanted to do that for so long. I love snowboarding, I love Canada, I've been there before, and I was like wanted to go back. And so when I saw the ad, it really caught my attention. I was like, oh my God, like, is that a possibility? Can I like work and just snowboard and work and snowboard? Like, is that a lifestyle that I could actually lead? And so I clicked on the ad, and it was for global work and travel. Sorry, this is my just woken up voice. So I clicked on the ad and it just looked so appealing. I was like, wow, they're going to get me a visa. They're going to get me a job. They're going to give me accommodation. I don't have to do anything. Like, I don't have to stress about anything. They're just going to do it all for me. Because I think I had actually been wanting to move overseas for a very long time. Since I was a teenager, basically. I've just wanted to get out of Australia. But the scariest part was applying for a visa, because I didn't really know how to do that, like, whatsoever. And also having to secure a job. I think it was just really scary for me having to go over there, not having a job yet, and then have to look for a job and apply for jobs while I'm over there. But Global Work and Travel promised like that they would help with the visa, and like they basically promised you a job before you got there. Like, before you leave your own country, you're going to have a job. So it's going to be fine. So you're going to be financially secure. It's all good. Anyway, so I put my name down for an inquiry, and one of the salespeople called me back, and he basically just gave me a rundown of how the company works and how working holidays work in Canada and all that stuff. I think at that time I was really susceptible. I was so bored at home. We were in lockdown, and I was like, you know what, I really do want to fucking leave. And so I really bought into it. Like, the sales people there, I mean, I only dealt with one of them, but after like reading reviews about them, the salespeople there are really fucking good. Like, they know exactly what to say to get you hooked. And especially if you've already put your name down, obviously you're already interested in that thing. They get you to talk about why you want to move overseas, and like what you're doing at the moment, why you want to go overseas. And I think like that tactic, it really just makes you like think, oh fuck, I actually don't have that much going for me in my country, and a new life in another country actually does sound really good. And so it's like it's very convincing. So I paid the deposit then and there, like on the phone with him. I didn't even like think about it. I'm also just a very spontaneous person in general. So I was kind of just like, you know what, I won't think too much about this, because then I will never do it. So let me just pay the deposit right now. So that's what happened. I paid on the spot, like on the phone with him. Okay, so that was 2 years ago. Since then, I have changed my mind. Instead of going to Canada, I want to go to London instead, because I just feel like there's more to do there. Like, you're in the center of Europe, you can just go travel everywhere, whenever you want. So yeah, I changed my mind. I want to go to London now. But yeah, that was just my little backstory. So personally, my opinion on global work and travel, I think they're really good if you have never traveled before. And I'm not saying like if you've never lived in another country before, but I mean like literally if you have never left your own country to travel, that's the only time that they're actually helpful, because they don't help you with getting a visa. They send you like a 1-page, like A4 document of steps on how to apply for a visa, but you have to do everything yourself. The way that they made it sound like they were going to help improve your chances of getting a visa. I don't know, they made it sound like you're guaranteed a visa, and they'll do like a lot of the hard work for you. But no, literally they send you a document of how to apply for a visa, and you just have to go and do it yourself. And obviously with like, when you apply for visas, you're not guaranteed if you'll be accepted or not, but that's all their visa help. It's just telling you, just go to this website, fill in your details, pay the deposit, go do your biometrics, and then that's it. And I'm like, oh, okay, thanks for the help. And then also they say they help you with your flights and travel insurance. But there's a kicker. They don't really help you find flights. They give you their options. So they upsell their own flights and their own travel insurance to you. And me, I've traveled a lot as a kid, and also as an adult, I travel like all the time. So I'm like an expert at finding the cheapest flights and price comparing, basically. Like I'm really good at price comparing between flights and travel insurances and stuff and finding the best thing for me. But Global Work and Travel, they try and push their own flights and their own travel insurance onto you. And I guess they just hope that you feel stressed enough, or like you just feel unsure enough to actually book your flights and travel insurance through them. But because I know better, I heard their quotes and I was like, yeah, you're joking. I'm not paying that much. No. I'll say this now and I'll say it again. Global Work and Travel, it's basically a flight and travel insurance company. Like, that's all it is. Because I think that's how they make most of their money. Anyways, I did actually write it down. I wrote down the quotes that she gave me. It's like absolutely ridiculous. So she sold me this thing called the Global Travel Cover, right? So that's like the insurance that they have, and they really say like, oh, it's so flexible. It'll cover you for like COVID. You get dental, medical, like $500,000, half a million dollars on dental and medical. We cover for lost luggage, theft, and yeah, they give you the whole rundown, the whole spiel. And obviously, if you're not used to looking for travel insurance, you'll be like, oh, wow, that sounds so good. Like, that sounds so good, and it's flexible and all that. But if you do know, basically all travel insurance comes with that. Like, all of it. And you know what, actually, when you apply for a visa, I don't know if this is for every country. I feel like it would be, but specifically for London, when you apply for the visa, you pay for NHS medical services, which is basically like the Medicare, or like basically the government healthcare. So when you apply for a visa and you go and live and work in the UK, it's mandatory that you are covered for healthcare. And with that coverage comes dental and medical as well. So what they're selling you, which is like $500,000 of medical and dental, it's already covered by the mandatory healthcare that you have to pay when you apply for the visa. And the rest of it is just like normal travel insurance shit. So you're not really paying for that much. So she gave me the quote for 12 months, right? For 1 year, it's $2,721.98. 2.7K for 1 year. If anyone has looked at travel insurance before, you know that is fucked. That is really inflated. I was literally looking for 2 years travel insurance, 2 years, right? And I found like it was kind of budget, kind of not, but for 2 years it was 1.5K. And they're trying to sell me 1 year of travel insurance for 2.7K. No, honey. There's nothing special about global travel insurance. It's just like any other travel insurance. But they are trying to sell it to you, right? Because they think you don't know what you're doing. The people who sign with Global Work and Travel are people who, they just don't really know what they're doing. They've never like lived overseas before. They've never, I guess, traveled overseas before. I don't know. So they trust the word of like, you know, your travel coordinators and what they tell you. So yeah, my word of advice, do not pay for their travel insurance nor their flights. Okay, I'll tell you about the flight now that she quoted me for. So again, they were like, oh yeah, like we'll help you with the flights, we'll help find the flights for you, which is true, they would help you find the flights. But she preached this thing about like the global flexi fare, which is like just flexible flights that they helped find for you. But mind you, it's only available for your flight to the country, and then you have to like pay again for your return flight. So you're basically only paying them to find you a one-way ticket to the country, but they give you the security of it being flexible because, you know, plans change and the date that you want to go over to the country might change and you never know if it's going to change. Maybe you get COVID or something. And so they offer that flexibility for your flight ticket. So it doesn't include any like additional flights that you'll take while you're there. Like for example, if you go on holiday for like a weekend to somewhere else, this doesn't include those flights. This just includes the one way to the country and then your return back at the very end of your working holiday. And she quoted me for a one way 1.8K, which, you know what, I guess that doesn't sound that bad, really. 1.8k. In this day and age, I would say that's not that bad. But like one way, like I'll tell you now, I've already booked my flight to London, and it was less than half of what she told me. But again, I am really good at finding like really cheap flights. I'd say the flight that I bought was really cheap. Like I was really good to have found that price. Average flights at like around the same time that I was looking at were about 1.1k. So the quote that she gave me was like $700 more expensive than that. And yeah, that's just not right. And like when you find your own flights and buy it, you have the option, like when you're buying it, to pay for a flexible ticket. Like every flight will have that. And basically it just means like if plans change, you can just like swap shit around. So yeah, what she quoted me was just too much. I was like, 1.8k for one way? You're fucking joking me. No. And another thing I have to mention is that the jobs that they have are just like basically they're partner companies. So Global Work and Travel have a lot of partner companies in other countries where they basically have an agreement where the company will bring in workers for these like partner companies to work there, so they can have like seasonal workers and stuff like all year round. Personally, I don't like any of the companies or the jobs that they have offered me so far. I'd say I'm a bit more, what's the word? I'm very finicky about the jobs that I do. So I don't want to bartend. I don't want to work with food or anything. I like reception jobs, but when I asked her about some of them, she said like most of the reception jobs are in like random like hotels out in the middle of nowhere. You know, a lot of their partner companies just are located out in the middle of nowhere. And I'm like, no, I'm a city girl. I want to live in the city. I want to work in the city. Like, so I guess whether or not it's worth it to go with Global Work and Travel also really just depends on what work you're willing to do, because a lot of the jobs that they have, I think they call it live-in jobs, and basically it just means that you work for a hotel, for example. It's usually like hotels, motels, stuff like that. You work for a hotel, you live in the hotel, your food and stuff is provided by the hotel, and basically you just work there as well. And usually the hotels are out in the middle of nowhere. I remember specifically she mentioned a job working in like a Scottish castle in the middle of the Scotland Highlands, and you like get to work in a real life castle, but it's literally in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, castles are cool, but I ain't trying to be in the middle of nowhere just like in a castle. Nah, that ain't for me. So yeah, that's also something that you need to consider. So yeah, all in all, I think Global Work and Travel is an alright company, but it definitely promises way more than it delivers. Like it really sells you the dream of like, we'll help you through every single step of the way. We'll do this for you. We'll help you get a visa. We'll help you get this, that. So I'll just leave you with this. Honestly, Global Work and Travel, it's not that bad. It's not a scam. I think there are a lot of reviews around about how it's a scam. I'd say it's not really a scam, but if you already are comfortable booking a holiday by yourself or traveling solo, or if you already know what you're doing, I guess, when it comes to traveling, you don't need them. You'll work it out yourself. And you know what? Like, I don't think it's that hard applying for jobs yourself. Like, they only guarantee an interview. They don't guarantee the job. You know, they guarantee giving you an interview, like setting up an interview at, I don't know, whatever partner company that they have, but you still have to do the interview yourself. It's not like, yeah, we'll guarantee like you'll get the ski lodge job, like it's in the bag. No, they only guarantee that they'll give you an interview before you leave. So I just think if you're really timid, I don't know if timid is the right word, but if you're really unsure of yourself, if you're not confident in being able to go overseas and apply for jobs on your own, Global Work and Travel really like helps ease that fear, ease that doubt, like ease that stress. They really do take some stress off of like, your hands. But if you've traveled before and you know what you're doing and you don't feel too stressed out applying for jobs on your own, you really don't need them. Personally, I feel like I wasted my money booking my working holiday through them. I feel like I could have just done it myself, because to be honest, they haven't guided me very much at all. Like, I've had to do everything myself. So that's all I have to say. I really hope this helps and I didn't talk for too long. Peace out.